Backstage with Mothership on Solid Rock Radio begins now. Hear the best in new music, artist interviews, stories from the road, and more. You are now backstage, and here's your host, Mothership.
Hey, I hope y'all had a great week. My guest this week is Zahna, female Christian hard rock solo artist and the former frontwoman of national touring band ILIA. Let's hop right into the call. Zahna, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, Miss Cindy. It's good to talk with the Mothership. How are you?
Girl, it has been so long.
Oh, it's been too long for everyone this entire year. It's crazy, man.
I know it. Well, first and foremost, I want to know how your health is, because you've been a matter of prayer for quite a long time for our family and for a lot of fans.
Yes, thank you so much for praying. Lord knows I need it. Well, for those of you who don't know, I had a kidney transplant back in June of 2019. And I had a lot of mishaps and stuff, and I went back to the hospital a lot. And those first 6 months, when you have a transplant, they basically blast you with immunosuppressants through your IV the day you get your transplant. And that stuff kind of courses through your system for about 6 months, which is why I had a lot of issues within the first 6 months of my transplant. And I got hospitalized a lot because I just had these infections and stuff, and really dangerous for a transplant recipient. Little stuff becomes really, really big very quickly. So yeah, that was really, really difficult to go to. A little more unexpected. We did know there might be a few mishaps, but I did not expect that many. And then finally January came around, and finally a difference was being made. And they told me it's just because, finally those immunosuppressants are out of your system. And I was really excited about that until I kind of had an issue. I had to go back. That was like after quarantine started. And I was like, the last place I want to be is a hospital right now. So
I know it.
I was really upset when I had a really blazing fever and I had no choice. I had to go because, if you let it get out of control, your organ could basically reject. And
yeah, that one really had me worried for you. The fever thing, that scared me.
It was bad. Yeah. So that was really, really hard to go through. Thankfully, at that time, my hospital was not allowing COVID patients because of their immunosuppressed patients. I mean, it's a transplant hospital. It wasn't so bad. The worst thing was that no one was allowed to be with me in the room. So Patrick couldn't even come visit me or anything. So it was pretty lonely. Thankfully, it was about 4 days only. Right after I got out, though, that's when all the crazy stuff started happening and cases started to accumulate. And then my hospital was forced to take COVID patients. And then it was really scary because I was like, okay, I really don't want to go to this hospital. So ever since then, though, I've been kind of up and down again. I've been fighting kind of this weird virus that my doctors are keeping an eye on. A virus that basically everybody has in their body. But when you're immunosuppressed, it lots of weird stuff, like I said, just happens, and little things become really big things. And so they were watching me for that. And honestly, I feel fine, just tired because I'm a workaholic. And I'm just hoping that kind of goes away. So we'll see.
We're just going to ignore it, right?
When I don't get called by doctors, that's a good thing. When doctors are calling me, that's a bad thing. I don't want to hear from them. They haven't called me since that one time, and I'm good. I don't care. I don't want to know. So bad.
Well, we have our own coping mechanisms, right?
Yeah, I'm like, as long as I don't see a voicemail from my doctor today, I'm good.
All right. Well, I've noticed something on your socials about these acoustic tours. Tell me about that. That's kind of new.
Yeah, that was kind of just kind of throwing it out there that, I'm kind of going to be doing that from now on. It really started from playing with Matt Baird in Houston, and he was like, why aren't you guys doing acoustic shows, and we did really good that night, and it was such an honor to play for Matt, and, someone just as seasoned as he is, and he was just giving us all this advice, and he's like, man, y'all really need to be doing this, and so it was just kind of an effort to put it out there, especially with the constraints that COVID has forced musicians into. People are way more okay for some reason for an outdoor patio set, obviously, where it can be distanced and not so hyped up and crazy, rather than like a venue at a show where there are a lot of crammed people. So I was just kind of putting it out there, and we had some hits here and there. We'll see if any solid run comes from out of it. Right now I only got 2 dates in Nashville, and I'm kind of working out the rest, kind of southern states. But we'll see if anything pans out. It is kind of short timing. Either way, I'm just excited to offer that to people now and finally kind of get my live acoustic show down. So it was really cool.
So who have you got on guitar?
Well, right now, hired guns. Anybody you available? Cool. You want to do this? Cool. For our last show, we used Michael LeBras. As you know, he's been a hired gun for several years in Christian rock, and he was with Random Hero for a while too. And then I'm using my buddy Steve Osbourne for some shows in Nashville. He's up in Alabama, so he's not too far away from the Berg. So he and I actually are doing a collaborative effort on a cover song that's coming out hopefully early next year, I think, if everything goes well. I'm just kind of saving everything for next year.
Yeah.
But he's a phenomenal guitarist, so I'm really excited to work with him as well.
Well, you can't go wrong with either one of those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm blessed, man. I'm like, oh, you guys want to jump in on the beat? Let's do it.
I'd like to see one of these acoustics. And Matt Baird is exactly right. I think you would do really well with the acoustic.
Yeah, I actually started as an acoustic artist way back in the day. Began being a singer-songwriter at 15, and I would play around San Antonio and a lot at my high school events. I was kind of known as the music kid, and it's funny because I ran into somebody from high school today, and they were just like, you never changed. You never changed. You were always about music and God in high school, and 10 years later, you haven't changed at all. You are still the same person. I'm like, I told you it wasn't a phase.
That's right. Well, with a voice like yours, I mean, it's so powerful. Who even needs a guitar? Come on.
I on acapella songs because, I don't know, the sound or something went out, and I'm just like, yo, y'all listen here. I'm going to sing this acapella.
I'm determined.
Yeah.
We are finishing this song, okay?
Yeah, we're going to finish this song, so y'all listen to me right now. It's very diva, very pathetic, I admit, but I'm that person on karaoke that hogs the mic. I am.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't expect anything less from you, and at least you've got the moxie behind it.
It's funny. Karaoke, I actually challenge myself. I pick the hardest songs, without doing really any warm-ups. And I'm like, okay, let's see what you got. This is actually just a test for me. And my whole family gets annoyed because they're just like, okay, stop either trying to show off or stop picking such difficult songs that nobody can duet with you. And I'm like, well, it's a challenge, I want to see if I can do it, so I'm always picking crazy Celine Dion songs or just diva songs.
Wait a minute. You also did Flyleaf's I'm So Sick. Okay. Nobody could just pick that one up and do it. Acapella.
Really easy for me. Yeah, no, I mean, it's not hard. I grew up listening to those songs. Yeah, no, it's screaming to me is really easy. Actually, that's the easiest thing about music. Singing, to be a great singer, that's actually very difficult. And switching between the two, singing and screaming, is probably the most exhaustive part of a live set. It's like just driving a manual car. You're just switching gears and your legs get tired after a while. That's what I compare it to. I'm just like, yo, this is exhausting. It's switching between the singing and screaming. But, that's what sets you apart is what you can do in your utility. So I choose to still do it.
Backstage with Mothership returns after this. Outperformance Service Family is a Solid Rock Radio business ministry partner who offers turnkey e-commerce website design, marketing, and converged technology consulting. Online at outperformancemarketing.com. Check us out on Facebook at I'm with Mothership.
Here's more with Zahna. Tell me a little bit about booking.
Yeah, absolutely. Most of these are promoters that have sought me out. I haven't really actively started booking just yet because everything is so up in the air. It's really hard, Usually how musicians do it is they have anchor dates where, for sure we're going to be doing this date. This is a private promoter, blah, blah, blah. And then they usually fill in the routes between bars and clubs or whatever they can get. But that's just really uncertain because, there's no one can guarantee any bars or clubs are going to be open. My focus really is on my new record right now. I really would love to just start teasing it, but I've just got too much in the works behind the scenes right now. And I'm a perfectionist and I don't like to show anything. And I'm like, yo, release it right. Make them wait. It's going to be fine. They can wait a little more because how is it that Tool can release an album 10 years later and everybody be hyped? It's waiting is not a bad thing. Let them wait. It's okay. Just make sure you're happy with it and you are presenting it in the way that feels real and genuine to you as an artist that really communicates your message because I have a lot to say with this next one. So
good. Yeah. Well, that was my next question was about new music. So there you go. You've already answered it. So you are working on new music.
Honestly, pretty much it's entirely written. I'm going to go back and do maybe like a couple more songs just to make sure we got really good options. And if they're all good options, then we put them all on the record, just to have options though. People in Nashville do it. I mean, they write 50 songs and 80 songs, 100 songs, pick the best ones. But I only wrote like 10 so far, and I love all of them. So I'm not picky. Like, I don't know. But yeah, so we're still going to try to write a couple more, and then do a bunch of stuff behind the scenes in the biz and see what comes out of it, and release it how we can and the biggest impact that we can. So a lot of that stuff takes time. Of course, COVID was kind of a good thing and a bad thing. It was a good thing because it did like let me go ahead and have more time to go up and like record and write. Either way, it wouldn't have been released till 2021 because I really want to do a supporting tour for the album to get those pre-sales and everything, to start doing pre-orders, give it better chances of charting on Billboard and stuff like that. So I'm very excited though. I can say it's a very emotional album for me, and every time I listen to it, it really brings up a well of emotions. So I hope that the listeners feel that and they can relate to it as I do.
I want to touch on the vocal coaching that you're doing. Tell me about that. That's like a little side thing too.
I love it, man. I love my students. I love doing it. I've learned just by teaching more about singing and healthy habits and everything. And it forces me to go research good exercises and good things for my students to practice too. As soon as I get through these acoustic shows and everything, we'll start advertising more spot. The most exciting thing is like singing. People think it's like, oh, you just have it or you don't. That's very untrue. Singing takes a lot of time to build good habits, and just because you think you're not a good singer, I can guarantee you if you have a couple sessions with me, we'll get you singing better for sure. I've experienced teaching from every realm. I've had classical training, I've had music business training, I've been a singer-songwriter, I've had recording experience, and let me tell you, every single person I worked with, had they been able to use the proper lingo, that, the classical term or the non-classical term, had I been, had they all explained it to me in a way that was completely complete, I would have been a way better singer way long ago, but I had to go through the different coaches and learn a whole different realm of different parts, so that's what I love to kind of pride myself in, is that, you're not just getting a classical coach, you're not getting a choir coach, you're not getting just somebody who does recording and has never taken a proper singing lesson in their life, or doesn't even know the anatomy of singing, but knows what sounds good on a recording. I'm over here and I'm like, yo, and I can tell you how to accomplish it, not just how to accomplish it, but also how to like execute it well, what you should be looking for, since there's so much educational material online right now. I can tell you for a fact, listening and doing and having a vocal coach to saying, yo, you're not doing this right, makes all the difference, because we can watch a YouTube video and we can be like, oh, I think I'm doing it right, and you're doing it absolutely wrong. You need someone to tell you you're doing it wrong and why you're doing it wrong, or else you'll keep reinforcing bad habits. So needless to say, I love it. I love it. I love it. I would love to be a full-time coach had I not had all this music stuff on this side. It's something I'm really passionate about. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about 2018. You got married to Patrick Madsen, the drummer for Random Hero, and you went to Germany for Loud and Proud Festival.
Yeah, that was probably the best 2 weeks of my life. No joke. Like, I don't think I've had any other 2 weeks that was as great and like epic in my life as that. Because, it was just pure partying, rehearsal dinner, bachelorette party, the wedding, being married, hanging out downtown, and then going home, packing our bags, catching a flight to Germany, playing my first international show, meeting fans in a different continent, and then hopping on a plane and going to Rome and seeing historical sites that I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. Unbelievable, like just larger than life, followed by a very, very difficult year of a transplant. So I'm not boasting. I'm not being like, yo, I won. No, definitely there's highlights and lowlights of this life. But that, I'll never forget those 2 weeks. Those 2 weeks gave me a lot of strength to get through the next year.
That was the year I flew over with Random Hero. So
we had to take different flights because our return flight was different. because we were going to Rome right after Germany, and the guys were going, I don't know if they came back to the States or they went to Paris. I don't know what y'all did.
We flew back to Texas.
Okay.
Then I flew to Atlanta, and then Bertrand stayed there, and then Rob and Aaron flew to Colorado. We landed in Texas, and everybody just scattered.
I know, but it was unforgettable, man.
It was. It was fun.
Yeah, that's something really cool about being a musician is, like, you do have a lot of struggle. You're gone a lot. You miss stuff. You miss birthdays and celebrations and holidays. But sometimes it does pay off. And sometimes you get to see the world. Something I don't take for granted is, like, it's not the most conventional lifestyle, but there are beautiful things about it. And we could complain about our everyday lives, but somebody always has it worse, and somebody also feels trapped in their life too. It's not just you. Like, there's a blessing and a curse to everything you desire in this life, and you got to just choose what you want and roll with it, the good and the bad. So yeah.
Well, the German fans really loved you, so we'll have to get you back.
Well, I love them. Okay.
Isn't that the best festival?
I love it. Eve, like, I was there. Like, it's just these people across the world, like, listen to my music. It's crazy, man. It's so cool.
Yeah.
You're listening to Backstage with Mothership on Solid Rock Radio.
This is our last segment with Zahna. I hope you enjoyed it.
What is your favorite road snack?
Oh my gosh. I really like Sun Chip. I like these Airhead Extreme, like, candy strips are sour. I love those. I love the sweet tart sours as well. Anything sour I love. I don't know what else. Those are, like, the first three that come to mind, so that's got to be my favorite, right?
There it is. That's it.
If I'm thinking of, that's got to be it. Yeah, I like cheese and crackers a lot, but it's really hard to keep anything, like, refrigerated on the road, Like, I don't get cold stuff too much. I just get packaged stuff. But, yeah, cheese and crackers are great snack.
Yeah.
Coffee.
And that's why I ask road snacks, because a lot of people like certain things, but you can't really eat them on the road. I was talking to Sarah from the Letter Black, and she said chocolate, and I said, that melts in your van. And she goes, oh no, I carry it in the venue like a hobo. Or it doesn't last that long.
You gotta eat it quick,
Yeah.
And, I've had some, like, makeup melt in the van before. I've had to be really careful about stuff I leave out. But yeah, I know. I'm excited. We're playing with the Letter Black in May in Charleston, South Carolina. I've never played with them. Pat, I think, was direct support with Random Hero at CRN a couple years ago or something, and Letter Black headline too. So I'm excited about that show. That'll be cool. Second show of 2021. So yeah,
they were supposed to be at our show this year too. So.
Oh. But I remember, man, I needed a concert fix when I was a teen. I'd go by myself. I wouldn't even care. I'd go to downtown, and I'd go by myself to shows because no one would go with me. I'm like, okay, I'm going myself. After me.
Well, if truth be known, at first I was going to concerts to take my kids, and then after a while, the jig was up. They found out I was just me wanting to go. Are you sure you don't want to go to this concert?
Mom, I don't want to go. I think you want to go.
You definitely want to go, and you want to go backstage too. So.
Oh my God, love it. Yes, yeah. No, I love the Christian rock culture, man. Thank you so much for having me, Cindy, and I had a great time. And we love you in this industry.
Aw, I love you guys too.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.